Yeah, hi, this is Don N5SKT, and we're in my shack today to uh, do an unboxing, and then hopefully a little later this afternoon I'll do a first power on as well. I'm not going to actually use the device today. Um, I had an opportunity yesterday, but I just we had so much trouble in the doing it to that we or doing the POTA yesterday that we really didn't have time to mess with this, and I haven't had time to really film this thing, so I thought I'd, because I wanted to take it out of the box while, and make a short video of it and do a few things like that. So this is what we're going to do today. This is actually a um, 500 watt amplifier for a Mercury or for a POTA activation. So, and I think this might work if for uh, doing the unboxing and uh, actually taking a look at it. Actually, I need to check and make sure this is not, yeah, that was upside down. So anyway, this is this is it, and let me get this out of the box or get this cut open. I didn't cut it open even as yet. I got it a few days ago. And yeah, I should have a knife here, but I think this key is going to be a little safer. God, yeah, I feel those things breaking, so there we go. Okay, and yeah, this is kind of what I suspected. We are a box in a box, so uh, we're good to go here. And so, and you should, with a Mercury product, you should always keep the box that it ships in. And then also keep the internal box. I have had to, on occasion, on my 3S, I've had to ship it back to Kenny. And I did not have, well, I didn't have the original box on that one because it actually came as a kit. And then he didn't realize that it came as a kit. So this weighs about 25 pounds. This is the power cord and the PTT cord. It is, let's see if we can line this up a bit. This is an XT60 connector, and then of course this is standard RCA jack. It doesn't use ALC, so this is the PTT button. So we'll set that back over here to the side, and we'll connect it later. I have, and we'll see it in a bit. I have a 48 volt battery, golf cart battery, but only a 25 amp hour because I have a 100 amp hour in my uh, in my golf cart, but those things weigh 80 pounds, even though they're LiFePO 4s. Now, the lead acids for 48 volt are way heavier because just one of the 6 volt uh, batteries that they use for the 48 volt, just one of those is enough that that weighs 80 pounds, and there were 6 of them in the compartment. Now there's only one, and I've got a video of that if y'all want to take a look at how that worked. But anyway, so here's the amplifier, and this is the way it's packaged. I'm going to save that. I'm suspecting, yeah, that, yeah, it's pretty flat. So this is the front of it, and this is the rear for the connections. You've got a input for the SO239 and output, and then PTT, and then here's where the XT60 goes. So, and of course you have ground, although grounding in a POTUS situation is kind of tough. So I'm going to open the plastic up. Kenny does a really good job of getting these built. There is a waiting list, and also there is, he will tell you when the waiting list's open and when you can join it. As of right now, the last I looked yesterday, he was still taking people for the waiting list. At some point, that waiting list will stop, and you end up with a, and then he doesn't take any more orders, and I'm not sure what goes into him deciding when that's going to happen. But I'm trying not to, because it kind of cautions you don't use a key on it, and so I'm not going to do that. Or sorry, not a key, but a knife on it, and so I'm not going to do that. So instead, we're doing this instead. So, and getting the plastic off of it without my hands in there. All right. Here's, I hope, a better view of the back of the amplifier. And then, of course, here's the front. I expect when I power it on, here's the on-off button. I expect when I power it on, it'll have my call sign on it when it starts up, but because he does that on the 3S's and the Luxes, but I'm not sure on the Lite, but anyway. And this is the size of it. It weighs about 15 pounds, I guess. Now, for me, that's not a big deal. And I'll probably find some kind of a box or something to put this in to carry it in. And, so I can take it out on the field. And so, anyway, that's what I've got for now. And I'll go ahead and get the thing fixed up. I will not be putting power poles on there. In fact, I may not even use that power cord because I bought one already that has the connectors on it for the battery, because the battery does not have power poles for this, but it does have power poles for the 60 amp. It has the 60 amp power poles for charging, because the battery charger, and I can show you that when we get out there. Anyway, for now, this is Don N5SKT. We'll see you back here in a bit. Hi, this is Don N5SKT, and today I'm going to continue the video on the Mercury 3, the Mercury Lite. And I've got my camera pointing down at it. This 1500 watt dummy load, so we should be fine on that. And so here's my 48 volt battery, and we're going to talk a bit about the battery for a minute. It's very important. This is a LiFePO4 battery. It's very important that you make sure that this BMS can handle 20 to 25 amp draw. And truthfully, I'm going to double check this one because I can't remember. I believe it does. And you also need to make sure that a lot of the 36 amp hour ones do. This is a 25, so I'm pushing it with it. We're not going to test the amp right now, or actually transmit through it right now. I'll hold that off for a little while. I've got another battery coming, that is a electric bike battery that's safer, and I'll explain why they're safer. And why you got to be very, very careful if you go LiFePO 4. It's possible, but you got to be very, very careful with it. Anyway, let me grab yield Kaiweets here, and we are going to power this on so that I can show you what's going on here and why this is such a deal. So we're in DC now, and I can almost even see this through the indicator. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go black to black and red to red on this thing, and hopefully I can hold it where you can see it. I don't know, can we see it over here? Oh, wait a minute, does it? Well, that's cute. I thought it had some kind of little thing to hold it up with. Anyway, like I said, I'm not the best video guy. So let me just see what we can do, and I'll hopefully that this has large print, so hopefully you can see when I do this that there's black, there's red. We are at 53.16 volts. Now, why is that important? Well, the Mercury Lite has a very strict limit in the MRF 300s that actually are the finals of the radio, or sorry, the amplifier. You never want to exceed 55 volts, strictly 55 volts. So 53 is just under that, and so you should be fine. In fact, when the Mercury's pulling full power, you'll probably get a drop to around 48 volts. These 51.2 volts are for 48 volt golf carts, and golf carts don't have any issue with 55 or 58 volts. The chargers on these, as in LiFePO 4, where you're charging them to 14.8 volts or 14.5 volts to get on a 13.8 volt battery. In the case of a 48 volt battery, you're charging 58 volts. 58 volts will burn the finals in this thing. So if you do get one of these batteries, if you do not put the charger on it when the amp is connected. And you cannot run the amp from a connected charger. There are some, apparently, that you can get that will underfill the battery so that it never exceeds 48 volts, and it's lower than 53 volts when it's charging. But the one that I bought doesn't, because it's a quicker charger. The other thing is, when you charge it and it gets to the charge point, it can actually get up to 58 volts during the charge cycle, and it can produce 58 volts out. So the thing is that you hit 58 volts, or you hit the charge, and you get the little green light on the charger saying the battery's fully charged. At that point, you take it off the charger or leave it on the charger, either way, but you leave it there and let the BMS balance the cells inside the battery, and then it'll drop to, like it is right now, around 53 volts. Again, that's okay with the Mercury. So the instructions, and I believe I have the instructions here. Well, okay, it doesn't actually have that, but let me flip over here in the manual and show you in the manual where it talks about that. It talks about the voltage in here. By the way, this is great because it does have an internal tuner. Let's gain test battery use. So here is the page on the battery use. See, the recommended voltage is 58 volts at 25 amps. And it says, although the Mercury Lite can tolerate voltages up to 56 volts, some 52 volt battery packs may exceed this limit when fully charged. For this reason, 48 volt systems are strongly recommended. So what that means is that they're actually recommending that you use e-bike batteries. And these are lithium batteries, lithium ion. So they do have the danger that they can catch fire. To me, in a portable situation where I'm driving around in a car, I don't want something in my car that can catch fire. So I'm more leaning towards the 51.2 volt and using those. And so I spent some time, researching and getting a battery that would work. And also, I'm being very careful with how I do it and the way that this is doing it, which is why I measured the voltage. So anyway, that being said, let's turn it on. Now, this is not the first time. I did turn it on just a minute ago just to make sure that everything was okay. And so there we go. We're getting the Mercury. And let me see what I can do. I'm going to take the camera off the tripod here, and we will just hold it down there so you can get a good view of the screen. And so there's some menus on here. There's the operate button, the tune button. Here's our setup button. And you can turn the beeps on and off. There's an input button for 10 watts. And this thing, you can connect a QRP battery to it and it will push it to 500 watts. So that's what this input's doing. And the ATU, whether you're going to use it in bypass or in line. And I'm not sure exactly what HR is. I'll read the manual, and maybe I'll update the screen here on that. And then whether it goes to sleep, that is more about this display. You can enter your call sign here. I haven't even done that yet. And then here's a thing here that describes the features, which is more about like what we just saw in the manual. And I'm not sure what is suggestion. It's giving us QR codes, battery suggestion, and if you want to run it with a power supply, I guess these are links to places you can go to do it. So there's the QR codes if you want to be really safe with this thing. And then there's a reset button in case you, like on the Mercury 3, there's same things there. When I power it on, and if I hit exceed voltage or SWR, any of the protections, if any of those goes off, it'll alarm and stop. And then you hit the reset button to reset it to go back into operation. But I wanted to, I'm not going to mess with anything on here right now. There's a thing here to control the brightness of it, brightness of the display, and that you might want to adjust if you're indoors versus outdoors. To me, I bought this amplifier for outdoors, but as I said let's go back to the setup menu and turn that on. Warning, okay. You're selecting an input of 10 watts. Do not drive the input above 10 watts. Severe damage to the LDMOS will occur. So when rebooted, the selection will default to off. And so you got to agree to that. Now it's on. Now I'm going to turn it off because I likely will be driving this with the 7300 Mark II, which means I can drive it down to 5 watts, but I probably won't. And you can, the input on this, and I believe it's on this front deal here, the input is up to, well, no, it's not on, yeah, there it is, from up 5 watts up to 40 watts. And there's a video of a guy using his 705 to drive it. He's pushing 10 watts in it, and he's getting almost 600 to 700 watts out. Like I said, I'm going to probably use the 7300 Mark II. Now, I won't always use that. I've also got the FTDX 10, I've got an FTDX 10. I've got a lot of radios, but and I probably would switch those in and out. But the other thing is, I could drive it with my FTX1 field. I might drive it with that. So that's the deal. Now, again, I've got the dummy load on here. The reason I've got the dummy load on is there are some amplifiers that when you power them on, in fact, some transmitters as well, when you turn them on, they will transmit very briefly. So just to be on the safe side, I put this on here in case it wanted to tune. I did see the guy demoing this, and you're welcome to go out and look at his video. I will actually demo this. In fact, I'm going to take it on a POTA, but the first time I use this might actually be at field day. And so I might try it then. It really depends. The other thing at field day is, or not at field day, sorry, but I probably will take this battery. That battery will drive this amplifier, from what I understand. It will drive it about 5 to 6 hours SSB. If you do FT8, it's going to be about 2.5 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours. For POTA, that's okay. For field day, And so how effective is this at field day? I did look at the rules on field day. You can run an amplifier up to 500 watts, or you can use up to 500 watts. But I'm not sure that I would do that. And again, I may just take this up just to, kind of show it off and have some of the guys play around with it, and we'll use it a little bit, but I probably will not. We're not going to run it very long on field day, because obviously, if you're only getting 5 hours out of it, well, what's the next thing you got to do? You got to charge it up, and so then I've got to be extremely careful. Now, with the other one, the e-bike battery that I'm getting, I think it's coming today. No, it might not be here until next week sometime. Anyway, the e-bike battery I will use, or I might use that at field day just to be on the safe side, because I don't like other people to use my equipment where there's a possibility, hey, if you don't do this or this or this or this, you could blow it up. That's my responsibility. And so if I blow it up, it's my equipment. I don't want somebody else to have that guilt, if you will, or the feeling that, oh my gosh, I messed up his amplifier. And so it's better to take the e-bike battery out and be safe, totally safe, than to take the LifePo out and be be completely afraid, or you're putting somebody into that situation. Another thing I wanted, or that I'm probably going to do with this, is I will be taking it to Huntsville. So when I go out to Huntsville, I'm in glamping tent number 34. I'll be there from sometime Monday evening, this is my plan anyway, unless something happens. There's a possibility, obviously, that something could happen. But where I could hit a glamping tent, or sorry, I've got to make arrangements and make sure that everything can be taken care of. But anyway, I will definitely be trying to get out there and be out there the whole week. Probably arrive back home here Monday, so stay through Sunday night. That's how long I've got the tent anyway. But I could check out early. Anyway, that's my plans, and it's also, I'm planning to take this again. I'll be charging it whatever, but I'll also make sure that I have my multimeter, so that I can make sure that this battery's safe. And also I'll probably I might take the e-bike battery, but again, the biggest thing for me is traveling with an e-bike battery. I know plenty of people do it, but I'll probably make that decision when I get there. Anyway, that's the end of this part of the video. Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use? This is November 5, Sierra Kilo Tango. Is this frequency in use? This is November 5, Sierra Kilo Tango. Is this frequency in use? This is November 5, Sierra Kilo Tango.